We are now at our cast off part. I mean, you'll be able to, the hearts will show up a bit more. They'll show up better once we have this cast off the loom, because then you can kind of stretch it out. But to get started, yay, with our cast off, we need to move the stitches from the outside, from the inside to the outside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take and move them over just one, just so the same collars are together. That way when we are knitting off purple with purple, rainbow with rainbow. Zoom in just a bit, just to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. You do this all the way around the loom. I'm going to do a basic bind off at this point, but I'm going to leave both strands intact. Now, basic bind off has 3 parts to it. You E-wrap your first 2 pegs and you knit off, which means you take the bottom loops over the top loops. And then you move the stitch from your second peg to your first peg. Now remember, the whole time you're doing this, you're going to treat these 2 strings just as 1 stitch. So we've got 1 stitch, 2 stitch on peg 1 here. We're going to take the bottom 2 over the top 2. Then we're going to move it over. And you want to kind of do this a little loose so that it has a nice stretch to it. But that's your 3 steps. Let's go over that again. E-wrap your first 2 and knit off. Step 2 is take the stitch from your second peg here and move it to the first peg. Step 3 is to knit off that first peg and move it to the second. I'll show you a couple more times. E-wrap both. Bottom stitch over the top stitch. Second peg move to the first. Bottom over the top. And then you fill in the gap. Do that until you get to your last peg. Okay, so we have 3 left. E-wrap our first 2, bottoms over the tops, second one back. Alright, now we are on the last 2, and oops, make sure you get both of those, and you just work it just the same. At this point, cut it. Oh. You want to make sure you have enough to weave your tails in. And then what I do is I just take the working yarn. You can either pull it up through, down through, whatever. This just locks that in there. And then you can pull it out. I'm trying not to remove my stitch markers because you can just basically jerk it up out of there. Okay. Let's stretch this out. Ooh, see what it looks like. Check out the cast off. I love it. It's kind of chunky and colorful. Oh, this is so fun. Okay, okay. Get you a crochet hook. See how this doesn't quite line up? Well, it will when we are done with it. Use both these strands as one. You kind of pull it through. And what I do is, hopefully you can see this, I'm trying to grab both these. See how you got like these V shapes? I went underneath both of those. Grab both strands. See, these are a little tighter. And then I'm going to go back because we want to kind of keep that V shape going. So see, this is like our middle stitch here, so we want to bring it back through this one. Now if you have too much trouble with it, you can actually thread them with a tapestry needle. Because as you can see, the crochet hook I picked was a little thick for this. Let me try that again. I'm going to take my hook and kind of pull. Okay, so this is just kind of our join. So we want to take this back through this stitch right here. Now if the stitch is tight, you can actually take your crochet hook and kind of loosen the stitches up a bit, because that one's tight because it's the very last one. Okay, so bring both. Oop, I accidentally caught a little bit of another strand. Let me take that off there. Bring both strands through. If I can get my camera to focus on the right thing, let me move that back. Sorry. And then I'm going to take it back through this one so that it's see, that's not perfect, but that looks pretty good. You can see it from this side. It evens it out a lot. And now with these, I will weave one in through one side and one in through another side, just so that they are hid pretty good. Now you do feel a tiny little knot there, but really that's not much of an issue. So what I'll do is this strand I will wind through on the inside. This one I will wind through on the outside. Why not? Because this is completely reversible. And what I try to do is I try to I try to weave in the ends with the same color. So the purple, I will weave down through the purple. Just a few stitches, because we just want it locked in, and you want to take and stretch it real good just to make sure it's in there. And I cut the end just a little out. Oops, sorry. I cut the end just a little out because as it stretches, hopefully that will hide. There we go. I'll show you again with the inside, which is inside. It's a little more, it's not quite as symmetrical. Nope, I just want the same color. And pick up the next one down. You can weave these in any way that you would like. This is just what I do. Kind of stretch that real good. And like with the last one, when I cut it, leave a little bit of a tail. Kind of stretch it, and hopefully it'll just kind of disappear. There we go. And you do the same with your cast on edge, which I'm not going to show that right now. But look at this. It's so cute. You can take and fold it in half for just an absolutely adorable cowl, or even neck warmer. I mean, cowl, neck warmer, or a ear warmer if you'd like. See? Oh, I love it. Alright guys, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I love this pattern. It is so adorable. And you can actually use a slightly thicker yarn on this if you would like to. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow. That way, whenever I put out a new video or pattern, you will receive an email notifying you of what was just released. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.